For the fifth time, Meera gritted her teeth in frustration as she peeked from the kitchen again. She had already lost count of how many times she had checked, but the giant man standing near the main door remained like a sculpture, not moving an inch. In both her mind and heart, she cursed him. He was the only thing standing between her and her freedom for the day. Since morning, he's been standing there. Doesn't even need to use the washroom, she muttered to herself. It was enough to test her patience. A bee buzzed right in front of his face, flying around his head again and again. Yet even that failed to distract him from guarding the house. Watching him remain completely unfazed, Mira mumbled in disbelief. Is this man made of stone or what? Mira, dressed in a casual tee, denim jeans, and a pair of boots, was all ready to catch up with her friends and have some fun, as it got boring staying at home without her lovely yet cold husband. But as always, going out without him was a crime for her. Without guards, she could not even go to the garden, so going out for the whole day was simply not possible. Being the well known CEO of multiple companies, a millionaire, and a big figure in the business world came with many disadvantages. He had many enemies. Why would not he? He had everything a person could desire: name, fame, good looks, a loving family, and now a wife who is so beautiful that every man could ask for someone like her. But here, he was lucky one to have her because she looked like a princess, dressed like a queen, and have a very kind heart. The only thing he didn't like was that she was unbothered by the danger she was in after carrying his name. Unbothered because she knew her man would never let even a fly touch a single strand of her hair. Enough is enough now. How can someone be so stubborn? Now I will make him pay for making me crazy here. Meera marched to the gate, where the bodyguard boss was, and stood in front of him, while eyeing him from head to toe with wrinkled nose. I'm going out, so take care of the house. I'll maybe be late. Being confident, she threw her words at him and was about to step out when he spread his hand in front of her, blocking her way. You won't step outside, or it will be not good. He straightforwardly stated it without giving any expression, but Mira looked shocked, and why would not she? How could he talk to her like that? He might be like family to her, but she still had an aura. Before she could burst out, he spoke again. These are Big Boss's words, not mine. Remember? He was helping her remember Big Boss's words. I had informed him that I was going out, and he agreed to it. So, boss, please step aside. Slightly bending her knees, she playfully asked him to step aside, but he remained in his spot as if he had been ghosted. Bossji, can you move aside so I can leave? My friends are waiting for me. My time is very precious, and you are wasting it. I'm so sorry, ma'am, but he knew her tricks, and yes, she had done that many times before, and he had fallen for them. But he vowed that today she could not fool him. Mira huffed. In her mind, she was thinking that now he was not listening to her anymore, and her magic wasn't working on him. Oh, so someone doesn't want to be family with us and wants to go somewhere else. Ma'am, let's do one thing. Let's call Big Boss and ask. If he says yes, I will step aside. Keeping his face perfectly straight, he took out his phone from his pocket, though deep down he was already terrified. He dialed Dharya's number and turned the speaker on. Meera immediately tried to stop him, but then stepped back, knowing that Dharya's most trusted man would never listen to her. Yes, yes, call your sir now. He himself will tell you to let me go. But if he gets angry for disturbing him, it won't be my fault. Folding her arms across her chest and raising her eyebrow dryly, she waited for the ringing to stop, fully expecting Dhaya to scold the bodyguard for interrupting his work. Hello, I'm in the meeting. I will go. For a brief moment, hearing those words made Mira's face light up, convinced that call was about to end. But before Dhaya could disconnect, boss spoke. It's about Madam, Big Boss. The moment those words left his mouth, both of them knew the meeting no longer mattered. When it came to Meera, Dhaya never ignored even the smallest thing, whether it was about her safety, her happiness, or simply her. Meera, what happened? His voice turned alert instantly. Boss was about to answer when Meera snatched the phone. He's not letting me go. Why are you even paying him? Huh? To guard me or to stop me? She complained in a loud pitch, sounding completely wronged. Tell him to get out of my way. He's standing in my path like a statue. Mira ranted as if she were the victim here. From her tone, it sounded like she was completely done with him. Standing at the gate, both she and the bodyguard waited for just one word from there. Baby, is boss there? Give him the phone. Mira extended the phone towards the bodyguard but didn't let go of it, holding it between them so both of them could hear the conversation. If she's stepping out, don't let her go. She's not going anywhere. Make sure you follow my instruction or you will pay for it. I'm hanging up. Bye, baby. With that, he ended the call after wishing her goodbye. The look on Mira's face, however, was one of pure disappointment. Mira looked from the phone in her hand to the bodyguard standing in front of her the moment her husband hung up after saying the one thing she had desperately hoped not to hear. The bodyguard looked back at her with his unusual straight face, though the faint smile line around his face were hard to miss. Take your phone back, do your job, and pretend you never heard any of this, she stated through gritted teeth, pointing an index finger at him before mumbling under her breath. You just wait there. Throwing one last furious glare at the innocent bodyguard, she stamped her feet on the ground, making sure every step echoed through the house as she stormed away, looking angry as hell. Mira was cleaning the mess in her room that she had made while getting ready to go out. Her clothes were scattered all around her room, and she was regretting her decision. She had to clean everything by herself because she didn't like anyone else touching her things. She loved organizing both her own and her husband's belongings. The mess she had created was now giving her a headache. You did very wrong, hubby, and now you will see my rage. I won't talk to you for a whole month, and you will suffer. She tossed her clothes onto her bed and huffed at herself. Picking them up again, she started folding them one by one while thinking of ways to ignore him. How she would behave when he came home, and how she was going to ignore him no matter what. The knock on the door was so loud that it brought Mira out of a world of weird thoughts. She glared at the door, knowing who was outside. She had already heard the sound of the car horn, knowing who had arrived, and started thinking about what she should do if he entered the room. Should she hide or stay there pretending she was unaware of his presence? Mira, I'm coming inside, letting her know that he was about to barge into the room so she could start her acting. He knew she was definitely planning something in that little mind of hers and was ready for whatever she was cooking up. Entering the room, the first thing he saw was the open cupboard. Then, turning his neck, he saw her standing near the window with her arms folded across her chest. He walked to where she was standing, turning to face the window with her. He smiled a little. He gently hugged her from behind, his hand loosely wrapped around her waist, his face resting close to her neck, buried in her hair. Ah, back home, he murmured near her ear, but she quickly slipped out of his hold and walked ahead to the cupboard, closing it. Baby, as he was about to step into her personal space, she moved away again and stopped near the bathroom door. Without saying a word, she opened the door for him, silently telling him to freshen up first. He gave a helpless shrug and started walking toward the bathroom, but stopped right beside her. To her surprise, he suddenly turned and locked eyes with her. There was something unusual in his gaze, making Mira narrow her eyes suspiciously. Before she could even react, the ground disappeared beneath her feet. With a startled squeal, her hand instinctively grabbed onto his shoulder as Dhairya effortlessly lifted her into his arms and hurried towards the bed. Baby, now you can't save yourself from me. He chuckled, swinging her not so gently from side to side before adjusting her comfortably in his arms in a bridal carry. He paused for a second, only to find her eyes squeezed tightly shut. He could not help but a satisfied smile appeared on his face, his eyes narrowing into crescents. Mira, are you ready for the roller coaster ride? Her words caught in her throat as he had. There, he slowed down just enough to place her on the bed before immediately attacking her side with his fingers. There, stop it! Stop, please! For now, it became very hard for Mira to control her laughter anymore, and not having any other option, she laughed so hard that tears gathered in the corner of her eyes, twisting and turning as she tried to escape his merciless tickling. You were not talking to me, so I had to take this step. He continued playing with her sides with his fingers, refusing to spare her. Still laughing, she pushed at his hand, but he caught both her wrists with one hand while leaning down to shower quick kisses over her forehead, cheeks, the tip of her nose, and finally her chin. Stop it! There, baby! Every time she tried to complain, another kiss stole her words away. When he finally stopped tickling her, she was left breathless, giggling uncontrollably. He scooped her up once again, wrapped both arms securely around her, and slowly spun her around the room. Her laughter gradually softened into quiet giggles as she rested her forehead against his shoulder. The hare smiled to himself, knowing that the storm had finally passed. Mira tried to maintain her angry expression for a few more seconds, but the smile spreading across her face betrayed her long before she could say a single word. Now, do I have to tell you what you should do? He said, giving her a playful glare. She quickly placed a smooch on his cheek and tightened her hold around him, not wanting to let go of his embrace. Oh, I guess I need to arrange my schedule again so we can go shopping. He walked back and forth with her in his arm, giving her a knowing look. Her eye instantly sparkled because she already knew she was about to make space for a lot of new things in her wardrobe.